We get calls and emails every day from so many people who are trying in vain to lower their monthly mortgage payments with something called a loan modification. So we went to Washington to find some answers for you, and we came home with a healthy dose of pessimism from a top government investigator who says the federal program that's supposed to help families is failing. Deborah Graves has been begging her bank for help for years.
Hi, Katie. It's Deborah Graves calling. Could you please give me a call back?
Deborah seemed like the ideal borrower. She put 30% down on her home in Birmingham, and she says she always paid on time until, like so many in Michigan, she lost her job.
I have done everything that Wells Fargo has asked me to do, and they have not worked with me at all.
Deborah says after 3 years of calling, she finally got through to someone in the president's office at the bank, and she was assured they were trying to modify her loan.
She made promises to me. She said she would bump my sheriff's sale back to November 7th.
Deborah took on roommates. She even took a low-paying retail job just to show she had some income to qualify for the modification. But then Deborah found out her house had been sold at sheriff's sale in September, and Wells Fargo never told her.
How could they do this to me? I never thought at my age that I would be worried about whether or not I have to move in with my mom. It's just a really bad situation to be in.
Deborah Graves is not alone. Right now, Michigan is averaging 34,000 foreclosures a month. To stem the massive tide of home losses, the president created the Home Affordability Modification Program, or HAMP. As part of the TARP bailout, the U.S. Treasury Department set aside billions for banks and loan servicers to modify mortgages. The goal? Make mortgages more affordable by lowering monthly payments. There have been more than 7 million foreclosures or foreclosure filings since January of 2009, but less than 500,000 loans have been permanently modified. So we came to Washington for answers.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Neil Borowski is the Special Inspector General who oversees TARP. This Washington watchdog is highly critical of HAMP, in large part because so many families get stuck in trial modifications. In a trial, you pay a lower amount for at least 3 months, but you can still be denied a permanent modification, which can leave struggling families with even more late penalties and fees.
Are the efforts to keep people in their homes in this country working?
I think the HAMP program, it's not working. And I think declarations of mission accomplished because 1.4 million got a temporary trial modification, and as Treasury has described it recently as being every one of those getting a significant benefit, is either hopelessly out of touch or a rather cynical attempt to try to spin failure into success.
Even more alarming than borrowers not having access to permanent HAMP modifications is this.
Often a servicer can make more money for itself by foreclosing than putting a struggling homeowner into a modification.
Mark McArdle is with the U.S. Treasury Department. He doesn't believe the banks are financially motivated to foreclose.
Can't more be done to crack down on these lenders and these banks that got TARP money and got bailed out, and these homeowners are stuck holding the bag?
We expect, as I said, for the banks to live up to their contracts. We have people in banks all the time doing audits, doing file reviews.
McArdle thinks HAMP's track record of more than 483,000 current permanent modifications is a sign of success.
This is an unprecedented government intervention, which has never happened before, to try to basically keep people in their homes.
But the Special Inspector General says your efforts are falling woefully short.
Compared to what?
Compared to their own original goal of helping 3 to 4 million families avoid foreclosure by the year 2012 with permanent modifications. Experts say there's no way that many people will be helped. Here's how HAMP is supposed to work. Banks and loan servicers who participate in HAMP must reach out and offer a HAMP modification to a borrower once they're 2 months delinquent. If you qualify for HAMP, loan servicers have to follow some strict rules, and they cannot foreclose on you during your trial modification. But that doesn't help people like Deborah Graves, who says she was never told about HAMP. Wells Fargo says she did not qualify for HAMP at the time she started contacting them. Now she might, but it may be too late to save her home.
It's all I have. You know, I'm single, I don't have any children, and, you know, I have no place to go.
Once we contacted Wells Fargo, they finally started calling Deborah back, and they are now trying to get her into a loan modification. Some good news we learned in Washington is that many banks are hiring more people to handle these modifications, which hopefully will make things easier when you call your loan servicer. And there are free federal counselors who can help you navigate HAMP. We have all of that information on our website, WXYZ.com. I'm Heather Catallo, Channel 7 Action News.